Department of Homeland Security was saying that if we don't have, because we are from a state that has a bit of courage, we're now going to be patted down to get on an airplane. Tennesseans. We won't be able to go into the post office unless we have a passport. We won't be able to go to our national parks that are paid for by our tax dollars unless we have a passport. And that makes me angry. We are not the terrorists. They now have a new bill. They have the Patriot Act, and apparently that wasn't enough, and they want to spy on American people, and that's not enough. And now they have the Homegrown Terrorism Act, and all of the people that are running, that are in the Congress or the Senate, John McCain, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Edwards, they all support these things. Ron Paul is the only one that he stood up and said no. Let's go ahead. Some people on the radio trying to say that those of us that don't think that we go after all the Islamo-fascists, that we just don't understand. Well, I've been doing a little research, and Pakistan is an Islamic country the last time I checked. And there's been a lot of links of Pakistan to terrorism. And just this week, it's now all of a sudden the Bush administration seems to have gotten the hint, and they say they're going to try to change policy. And I read in my news today, on Yahoo News, that Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf said that if any U.S. troops come into Pakistan, it's a violation of our sovereignty. I defy Americans to come into Pakistan. Within the CIA say that's where Osama bin Laden is. So if we can't go to where the terrorists are, but we spend all of our time and our energy going where they aren't, how is that fighting war on terrorism?
It's not! It's false!
So, I heard a speech by Ron Paul where he said it makes no sense for us to borrow money from China so that we can give money to a dictator in Pakistan and claim that we're doing this in the name of supporting democracy. And I think he's right on that. To me, that's common sense.
Yeah!
So I agree with Ron Paul that we need to be defending our borders here and not creating messes so that we have to send our border patrol agents around the world to defend somebody else's borders. So those are the reasons why, and there's two more reasons why I'm voting for Ron Paul. Those reasons are Cameron and Miles Drake. Those are my sons. And they're 5-year-old cutest boys you'll see. I don't want a war going on for 100 years like John McCain said. For my
In 1932, at Wrigley Field in Chicago is the World Series, Game 3 between the New York Yankees and Chicago Cubs. The Cubs rallied a tie at 4-4 in the fourth inning, but it's the top of the fifth, and Herman Bruce Jr., better known as Babe Ruth, has 2 strikes on him by Charlie Root, the Cubs pitcher. And then something happened. He motioned towards center field bleachers and seems to call where his hit will come. And then he slams and crushes the ball so deep into the bleachers that it became known that day as the longest hit ever in Wrigley Field. In those days, a man's word was valuable. Business transactions were commonly sealed upon a handshake. When a man gave his word, it meant something. But fast forward to today, some 75 years later, the same scriptural command to let your yea be yea and your nay nay is no longer an overall part of the culture. Now empty promises and political correctness are the rule of the day. Especially during election time, you will hear many promises from candidates. They will promise that they will hit a certain way when they're at the bat. After election time, it's common to see many of them step up to the plate, go out swinging, and then claim many home runs. Their promises are soon forgotten. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to represent the behalf of millions of evangelical Christian people in America who are tired of getting empty promises.
Yeah!
We have been promised a better economy, and we see all our jobs being moved overseas. We have been promised lower taxes, and we still see an Uncle Sam taking too much of our paychecks.
Yeah!
We have been promised a more responsible government, and all we see is more corruption and lobbying in Washington.
That's right!
We have been promised an end to the Holocaust of abortion, and Roe vs. Wade is still not overturned. Amen. My fellow citizens and my fellow Christians, our land is begging for a time time in which the people of these United States will understand what our founding fathers wrote in most honorable language of his word. My name is Ezra Kaner, and I am pleased to endorse fully the presidential candidacy of Congressman Ron Paul. And I'm pleased to introduce to you Teresa Harmon.
We came in second place in Nevada. Last week we came in second in the Louisiana caucuses. We've beaten the anointed media frontrunner last summer, Rudy Giuliani, in 4 or 5 points. And it's only getting better. All right, let's talk about something here. All of you out there pay a lot of taxes. Well, one measure of how free a country's citizens are, or how much they pay in taxes. You work from January through July to pay your taxes. Half the fruits of your labor, 50% go to taxes. Let's think about this a minute. The Founding Fathers fought against King George of England, and they fought against a 3% total tax. You know, the Boston Tea Party? Well, we're paying 50%.
Tyranny!
You know, I think the Founding Fathers were better off than we were. They were better off under King George than we are under President George.
Got that?
Let's talk about taxes a minute. Let's see, we pay a national income tax, right? We pay Social Security taxes. We pay Medicare taxes. Oh, it gets better. We pay property taxes on your houses, right? We pay half the price of gasoline to gasoline taxes. Oh, we pay taxes on your tips, right? Oh, how about gift taxes? And if you're lucky enough to make any money in the stock market, you get to pay capital gains taxes and taxes on your dividends. And taxes on your checking account, your savings account.
When you die, you pay
It goes on and on. And then you pay inflation taxes, yeah. And all that means is, gee, it costs 50 cents for an apple today. Tomorrow it costs $1 for the same apple. Oh, the government's not done yet. When you die, you pay a death tax.
Don't want to die. Don't anybody die.
Well, at least when you're dead, they stop there. But for the people living, well, now you got 50%. But that doesn't even count regulations. Yeah, that's another 25% of your freedom. Oh, well, what about your personal liberties and freedoms? Oh, we're cutting it down to about 10% being free. Now we're about 10% free. So what do we want back? Our freedom! What do we want? Freedom! Louder, what do we want? Freedom! Who do we want? Ron Paul! What do we want? Freedom! Who do we want? Ron Paul! What do we want? Freedom! Who do we want? Ron Paul! Before I introduce our next great speaker, the middle son of Ron Paul, Rand Paul, I would like to ask the audience one question. Does anybody remember the Alamo?
Yeah!
Does anybody remember a guy named Jim Bowie?
Yeah!
How about Travis?
Yep.
Wasn't there somebody from Tennessee there?
Yeah!
Who was that?
Davy Crockett!
Davy Crockett, yeah, and they fought in the Alamo. You know what they fought for? Well, I can tell you one thing right now. It wasn't a cost-benefit analysis. And it wasn't for an economic stimulus package. What did they fight and die there for? What did they fight and die there for? Freedom! Freedom, yes, freedom. And that's what this historical campaign is all about. Individual liberty, limited government, and free enterprise, which leads to peace, prosperity, and freedom. And now I'd like to introduce Ron Paul's middle son, Rand Paul.